Apple's Universal Clipboard might be one of the most convenient features that you're not using. Universal Clipboard allows you to copy and paste text and other assets from one device to the other. One of the best use cases I use every day is logging in with multi-factor authentication. Typically with multi-factor authentication, you're either text a code or you have to open up an authenticator app. Then you have to go look at your device and go to your keyboard and punch that in. But with the Universal Clipboard, you can copy that code on your device and then paste it from your computer or any other Apple device that you're using. Let me show you how to set it up. It's really easy. Open up your Apple system settings and make sure that all your devices are on the same Apple ID. Next, you just go to your general, click on AirDrop and Handoff, and then toggle on Allow Handoff between this Mac and your iCloud devices. Turn this on all your devices. Then you can start copying and pasting from one device to the other. That's all you have to do to enable Universal Clipboard. Hope you enjoy.